Fried Chicken is Awesome. Finding Your Way in a World Gone Mad. A book by Brad Allen, read for you here by Brad Allen. Chapter 1. Fried Chicken is Awesome. Life has lobbed some awful experiences in my direction. Without a doubt, these focused my attention. However, even before all of that, life was still confusing. I had fun, made progress, achieved things, but there was a sense that something was missing. After the dust settled on the disasters, I realized there was something that I missed from the beginning. I realized that I've always had questions, even when everything seemed to be going okay. I wanted to know if I was doing enough to be a good husband, father, son, friend, co-worker, employee, and manager. I wanted to know if my kids would still want to be around me when they were older. I wanted to know if I was doing enough so that I wouldn't be alone. I wanted to know if what I was doing would ensure that I would have enough money to have a decent living and provide for those I love. I wanted to know if I was doing enough to take care of myself so I didn't drop dead well before my time. All these questions pointed to one thing: certainty. I wanted to know with total certainty that I was forging the right path. I wanted to know with total certainty that every choice I made was the right choice to make at that time. What I didn't realize was that, without the right skills, in looking to obtain certainty, I was giving up something important. Linked to the lack of certainty is a burden, the burden of my choices. So in effect, the search for what would give me certainty required me to be relieved of the burden of choice. Without a crystal ball to see the future, and with the skills I had at the time, relief from the burden of choice came down to one shocking reality. It meant giving up my ability to choose. Once I stopped making choices, or more importantly, once I stopped taking responsibility for the outcomes, I was freed and relieved of the burden of choice. However, that freedom came at a huge cost. I'm serious when I say fried chicken is awesome. Your taste might be different. However, the world I exist in tells me so many things are bad for me. I hear about things I should or shouldn't do. I exist in a world where I find it challenging if I don't subscribe to what others believe. Finding my way involves being true to what I believe for myself, and I believe fried chicken is awesome. Sure, the first few mouthfuls are the best. The spices, the load of salt, and the grease. And yes, after a few pieces, the anticipation and enjoyment are replaced with a slightly sickly feeling. But that doesn't diminish how good it was at the start. It doesn't take from my intention in putting myself in the same space as the fried chicken. It doesn't take from the fact that I chose to eat it. And it doesn't stop me from believing in the awesomeness of those first few bites. As for what happens after consuming a bucket, that's a whole different story. I'm a relatively normal guy who did normal life stuff and still failed to find traction with my place in the madness. I had put everything into my career, my family, and my marriage, and yet it still felt like I wasn't getting ahead. I did my best to do all the things I thought were important, but the pain and confusion persisted. A lot of the time it felt like swimming against the riptide with diving weights tied to my waist. The advice I came across felt like the joke about the lost tourist asking a farmer for directions to the airport, and the farmer responding with, "Well, I wouldn't start from here." I explored the classic and popular ways to self-help. I changed careers so I could devote more time to learning about how things should work. I coached, I got coached, and I engaged in counseling/therapy. I gave attention to understanding how I could get closer to the right place to start from. Eventually, I got there, but it wasn't the place I expected to be when I started. In choosing to relinquish my choice to make choices, I got used to
Sample complete. Ready to continue?